Hi everyone, welcome back to the final part of the story Hold'em Yale, a series of short stories in a man called Damon Runyon's book called On Broadway. Well, sitting there on the ground because he's too tired to get up from the late knockdown and holding one hand to his right eye, which is closed tight. Sam the Gunnoff is by no means a well guy, and all around and about him is much suffering among his crew. But our little doll is hopping up and down, chattering like a jaybird, and running between old Liverlips, who is stretched out against one goalpost, and Nubsy Taylor, who is leaning up against the other, and she's trying to mock the blood of their kisses with a handkerchief the size of a postage stamp. Benny South Street is laying right across Jew Louie, and both are still snoring from the last knockdowns, and the bowl is now pretty much deserted, except for the newspaper scribes away up in the press box, who do not seem to realize that the battle of the century just come off in front of them. It is coming on dark when all of a sudden a guy pops out of his dusk wearing white spats and an overcoat with a fur collar, and he rushes up to our little doll.
"Clarice," he says, "I'm looking for you high and low. My train is stalled for hours, being a wreck on the other side of Bridgeport, and I get here just after the game is over. But," he says, "I figure you'll be waiting somewhere for me. Let us hurry on to Hartford, darling," he says.
Well, when he hears this voice, Sam the Gunnoff opens his good eye wide and takes a peek at the guy. Then all of a sudden Sam jumps up and waddles over to the guy and hits him smack between the eyes. Sam is wobbling because his legs are not good from the shellacking he takes off the Harvards, and furthermore, he is away off and he's punching as the guy only goes to his knees and comes right up standing at a little doll, lets out a screech and speaks as follows.
"Oh,"
she says,
"do not hit Elliot. He's not after our goalposts."
"Elliot?" Sam the Gunnoff says.
"This is no Elliot. This is nobody but Gigolo Georgie. I can tell him by his white spits,"
Sam says. "And I'm now going to get even for his pasting I take from the Harvards." Then he nails the guy again, and this time he seems to have a little more in his punch, for the guy goes down and Sam the Gunnoff gives him a leather very good, although our little doll is still screeching and begging Sam not to hurt Elliot. But of course, the rest of us know it is not Elliot, no matter what he may tell her, but only Gigolo Georgie. Well, the rest of us figure we may as well take a little something out of Georgie's hide too, but as we start for him, he gives a quick wiggle and hops to his feet and tears across the field, and the last we see of him in his white spats flying through one of the portals. Now a couple of other guys come up out of the dusk, and one of them is a tall, fine-looking guy with a white mustache, and anybody can see that he's somebody. And what happens but our little doll runs right into his arms and kisses him in the white mustache and calls him daddy and starts to cry more than somewhat. So I can see we lose our little doll then and there. And now the guy with the white mustache walks up to Sam the Gunnoff and sticks out his duke and says as follows.
"Sir," he says, "permit me the honor of shaking the hand which does me the very signal service of chastising the scoundrel who just escapes from the field. And permit me to introduce myself to you. I am J. Hildreth Van Cleve, president of the Van Cleve Trust. I notified early today that Miss Peavy, my daughter's sudden departure from school, and we learned she purchases a ticket from New Haven. I at once suspect this fellow has something to do with it. Fortunately," he says, "I have these private detectives here tabbing him for some time, knowing my child's schoolgirl infatuation for him, so we easily trail him here. We are on the train with him and arrive in time for your last little scene with him. Sir, again, I thank you."
"Oh, I know who you are, Mr. Van Cleve," Sam the Gunnoff says. "You are the Van Cleve who is down into his last 40 million. But do not thank me for putting a slug on Gigolo Georgie. He is a bum in spades, and I'm only sorry he fools your nice little kid even for a minute, although
I figure she must be dumber than she looks to be fooled by such a guy as Gigolo Georgie.
I hate him, the little doll says. I hate him because he is a coward. He does not stand up and fight when he is hit like by you and Liverlips and the others. I never wish to see him again.
Do not worry, Sam the Gnome says. I will be too close to Gigolo Georgie as soon as I recover from my wounds for him to stay in this part of the country.
Well, I do not see Sam the Ganoff or Nubsy Taylor or Benny Southstreet or Jew Louie or Liverlips for nearly a year after this. And then it comes on fall again, and one day I get to thinking that here it is Friday. The next day the Harvards are playing the Yales, a large football game in Boston. I figure there's a great chance for me to join up with Sam the Ganoff again to hustle ducats for him with his game, and I know Sam will be leaving along with about midnight with his crew. So I go over to the Grand Central Station at such a time, and sure enough, here comes along by and by, busting through the crowd in the station with Nubsy Taylor, Benny Southstreet, and Jew Louie and old Liverlips at his heels, and they seem very much excited. Well, Sam, I say as I hurry along with them, here I am, ready to hustle ducats for you again, and I hope and trust we do a nice business.
Ducats, says Sam the Gunner. We're not hustling ducats for this game, although you can go with us and welcome. We are going to Boston to root for the Yales, to kick hell out of the Harvards, and we're going as the personal guests of Miss Clarice Van Cleef and her old man.
Hold on, Yale, old Liverlip says, and he pushes me to one side, and the whole bunch goes trotting through the gate to catch their train. And I then notice they're all wearing blue feathers in their hats with a little white Y on these feathers, such as college guys always wear at football games. And that, moreover, Sam the Ganoff is carrying a Yale pennant. There you go. Another funny story. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed reading it for you. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. It's always helpful. Thank you again, and talk soon. And I'll select another one from these stories and read it to you at some point. Stay safe, be good, and most of all, be kind, wouldn't you? Bye now. God bless. Bye.